Hi guys, welcome back to Vlogmas. Today we are going to be visiting where they filmed Gilmore Girls and I am so excited. I am here with my mom and with my sister and I think today's going to be a really fun day. So we're here early, but we will be doing the 1-hour studio tour, going around the back lot, and then we will be dropped off in Stars Hollow and I can't wait. I'm so excited. Okay, we are at Josie's Market.
Having a great time with my girlies.
We're in Luke's Diner. You have Luke's costume. Someone's waving. And it's like a total
Okay. Have you been banished by the friends?
replica. So our time in Stars Hollow has almost come to an end, which is sad. It is around 5:30, I think, and we are going to go see Lorelai's house. We've been virtually waiting in line since we got here today at like 2:30, but it's absolutely beautiful here. Got Kim's Antiques, if you know, you know. Beautiful church. The gazebo, and then there's Stars Hollow High, and they're recording a podcast right now. We are at Lorelai's house. There's her Jeep, and that's the one they used when they were filming, I'm pretty sure. And here's her porch. Stop it! It's Lori's bedroom. Hi!
Absolutely.
You guys want to take a picture here?
Yes. So my suggestion would be to park on this side of the table. This side's a little tight, so yeah.
Oh, Rory and her grandpa. Hey y'all. I was so overstimulated and overwhelmed when we were in Stars Hollow, so I vlogged to the best of my ability, and all the footage I got was all the footage I was able to get. But in saying that, even though it was overstimulating, a lot of experiences are. Me, my mom, my sister had such a spectacular time at Warner Brothers going to the Gilmore Girls event. It was amazing and so immersive. We had a blast. It was like the most magical, best day, and I want to share all about it and all of the details that I wasn't able to vlog, and also share some tips for anyone watching this who might be planning on going. But yeah, it was so much fun. So when we got our tickets back in October, I think the only way to do it was you had to buy a studio tour ticket, and then at the end of that studio tour they will drop you off in Stars Hollow. So we got the 1-hour studio ticket tour, but about a month ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, they released a ticket option where you didn't have to do a studio tour. They would just take you straight to Stars Hollow and drop you off. So to be honest, if I were to go again in the future, I personally would probably bypass the studio tour and wait until the other ticket option is available where we can just go straight to Stars Hollow. In saying that though, the studio tour was truly really cool. I just feel like it would be repetitive to do it again. for me personally. But the studio tour was really cool. We had a really great tour guide and we got to see the back lot and all the sound stages. And if anyone's familiar with the TV show The Pit, they were actually filming, and so we saw a bunch of extras in hospital gowns, and this one guy had like a gash on his head and blood all over him, obviously all fake, so that was really cool to see. But yeah, so we had that 1 hour studio tour and then we were dropped off in Stars Hollow, but we were right by Stars Hollow, like right by the entrance is Central Perk, which is the Friends set, and so that was cool. So we also got to see like Friends stuff and got to go into Central Perk. And then, and FYI, the Central Perk bathrooms are the best. So that's a little tidbit, like a little tip for you. And after that, after we were dropped off at Central Perk, we went outside and we're in Stars Hollow, and Lorelai's house was right at the entrance. And Lorelai's house had like a virtual fast pass where you scan a QR code and then you pick a time slot and then you're virtually waiting in line. So you don't have to physically wait in line all day. And so we got to Stars Hollow probably around 2:30-ish, right around there. And they only had 2 slots available. So we picked the 5:30, not knowing if we would even stay that late. We definitely stayed past 5:30. And so that was helpful. So my tip for you is if you really want to go to see Lorelai's house, when you get there, make sure the first thing you do is scan that QR code to get in the line to see her house. So that's what we did. And then we explored Stars Hollow and it was just so amazing. There were so many photo opportunities. They had the 1,000 Daisies, if you know, you know. They had a town troubadour, they had Christmas carolers, and if anybody remembers Miss Celine from Gilmore Girls, who helped Emily like find her wedding dress, there was a lady dressed up there. And then at Richard and Emily's house, there was a maid, and she was the one who was taking everyone's pictures, and she was hilarious, so funny, 10 out of 10 stars. So like this whole experience was just so immersive. There were so many places to go into, like the Stars Hollow bookstore, which had a bunch of merch. There was the post office where you could go in and you can see like pictures that had been taken of you, and you could buy them if you wanted to. We didn't. There was also like a knitting store which had merchandise for sale, and so that was fun. And there was like a lady sitting in a rocking chair knitting and being like a part of Stars Hollow. There was a bunch of food places, and so it was just so cool. There was the Independence Inn, Dragonfly Inn, Mrs. Kim's Antiques, which my mom said the inside was like perfect, like literally straight out of Gilmore Girls. You know, there was Lorelai's house, there's people who were decorating cookies at Suki's house, and so it was just so much fun. There was so much to do. I will say when we went, it was opening day and there was a lot of people. I read somewhere that about 6,000 people came on opening day, which is a lot and it's kind of crazy. But honestly, even though there was a lot of people and there were some really long lines, everything was so incredibly organized. Every single employee there that we had an encounter with was amazing and so nice and so kind and just went over and above. There were several times where an employee spotted me and helped escort me to make a way where I could get up on the sidewalk, where I could get to a ramp and go up on the sidewalk. And so that's always appreciated because that hardly ever happens regardless of where I am. And so that was just so appreciated as a wheelchair user. On the accessibility side of things, the thing is, like with these sorts of things, I always go in with very minimum expectations, and I also researched beforehand, so I knew there was some places I would for sure be able to go into, and I knew there was some places that I probably wouldn't be able to go into. So like Mrs. Kim's Antiques had an ADA entrance, but my mom said the inside would probably be too tight for me to comfortably maneuver my wheelchair in there. And then there was like a store or two which I couldn't really get into super easily, but besides that, honestly, everything was really good. There wasn't any ramp to get on this sidewalk to go take pictures in front of the gazebo, but that was brought up to an employee and she said she would speak to her managers about it and hopefully they would be able to, you know, put put a ramp there or something for future guests, which is all I ask. And again, very nice about it. They were, and so that was also really appreciated. And yeah, the bathroom situation was great. And it was just so much fun. And we ended up, hold on, I have this whole bag of stuff. So these are the shopping bags, Gilmore Girls 25th anniversary. And when we got there, the first thing we got for free was the Stars Hollow Gazette, which is so cool. I am obsessed that we have that. And then when we got there, we also did a scavenger hunt. Now this is the thing I will say, is I kind of wish we had done the trivia at the bookstore instead of the scavenger hunt, because the scavenger hunt was fun, but that's kind of all we were able to do for the most part, but that's okay because it was still fun. So you have to decode these or figure out the answers to these clues and then go around Stars Hollow and get all these stamps. So we had to go to several places, but that was truly really fun. Yeah, and then the prize for that was just a magnet. So got a magnet, so that's fun, but I would have probably rather done the trivia. And then if you're doing a scavenger hunt, if you want to do the scavenger hunt and you're doing it with multiple people, honestly, I'd recommend just getting one piece of paper for however many is in your party, because we got 3 scavenger hunts, so we got 3 magnets, but I think we would have liked it better if it was just one individual one. But that was fun and cool because it did make us go into all of these different places, and like we went into Dosie's Market, which was cool, and they had like a dean look like pretending to stock the shelves. I don't know why I just did air quotes for that. It was just such a great time. Like going inside Luke's Diner was absolutely incredible. That's why I brought up the scavenger hunt, that's right. So I was in line to get a stamp somewhere. My mom was in line to go into Richard and Emily's house, and my sister was getting food. And this lady comes up to me and she's like, hey, me and my boyfriend are leaving. We have these 2 food passports that have hardly been used. Do you want them? And I was like, sure. And so I took them, not really realizing, but they had food passports where basically you pay quite a chunk of change beforehand so you can go around and get, you know, different food and stuff. And so my sister was actually able to get like $50 worth of food for free and a drink because of these food passports, and then we were able to pass them on to other people who could continue to use them. And so that was so cool, and that was so nice of the woman who gave them to me, so shout out to you. Like that was just so kind. And like I said, the employees were incredible, and they were asking me like, how's the accessibility, how can we improve? And they were so friendly and so nice, and it was so magical. And you know, I got to go through the ADA entrance into Luke's Diner, and because of that I had to go into Taylor's soda shop first. And so I was able to bypass like a huge line for that because I wasn't buying anything to eat or drink there at Luke's Diner, and we just wanted photos inside. So that was really, really cool. I would say the merch situation is pretty good. There's a lot of very decently priced merch. There's some merch that I'm like, I am not paying that much money for a sweater. Like there was a sweater for $290, which was the most expensive thing I saw. But for the most part, everything was pretty reasonably priced. So I don't normally do hauls, but I figured if you're watching this video, you want to see what merch I got there, because there was a lot of merch that's special to there. Like you can't get it anywhere else. So I got this sweatshirt, and don't worry, this was like 40 bucks, which I feel honestly cheaper than I thought it was going to be at a thing like this. But it says it's Gilmore Girls season, and it's definitely more fall than it is winter, but I am obsessed with it. I saw it and I'm like, I need to have it. And then I'm so excited about this shirt. I got this at Lorelai's house. It's this little shirt, crop shirt that says Gilmore Girls, and it is the iconic tie-dye shirt she wears on Rory's first day of Chilton. So that was, I saw that and I was like, I need that. And then I also got a Stars Hollow postcard, which is so cool. I got, oh yeah, I forgot, at Central Perk, I got a little sticker for my water bottle. Oh, and I got a little dragonfly end sticker. And then at the video store, I got, oh sorry, this is a friend's pen that I got at Central Perk. Okay, at the video store, I got this Gilmore Girls 25th anniversary pin, and I collect pins like this, and so that was super cool to get. And then, well, it looks like my mom stuck another magnet, or her magnet, in with mine. It's a cute Christmas one. And then I got, my dog just tried to take the bag away. I see how it is. And then I got this 25th anniversary not magnet, Christmas ornament. So I knew that I was going to spend a little chunk of change, and I have been preparing for that for Gilmore Girls. But like I said, like, there really is a mix of very reasonably priced merch that I was pleasantly surprised about. And then there's other merch that I'm like, that's not worth the price tag, no matter how cute it is. So it's one of those things where it's like you just have to kind of look around and shop around. That's another tip I would give, is look around at all of these different shops before you buy something, unless you know 100% for sure like you want that item, and you'd be really upset if you couldn't get it. But all in all, it was such a magical experience. And at the end of the night, oh, I forgot, so they were recording a podcast. So Scott Patterson, who plays Luke, was hosting it, and then the actor who played Logan, he showed up, so we got to hear him talk. We kind of heard him more in the background than anything. Like, we didn't stop to watch the podcast because there was just a huge crowd of people, and we were trying to like see different places. And then the two actors who played Logan's parents were there too, so that was cool. We also saw Mrs. Kim from afar, and the actor who plays Caesar, who works in Luke's diner. So that was cool to like hear all of them. And at the end of the night was when we went to Lorelai's house, and that was so cool. We saw her Jeep, and they had like fake snow everywhere, and it was just so cool to see her house and to be on her porch. And yes, like the interior of Lorelai's house, when we were there at Warner Brothers Studios, doesn't look like the interior that they used in the show, but that's because, if I'm remembering correctly, like Lorelai's house, like it's the facade that was used, and like her actual interior is Suki's house. Am I misremembering? It's something like that. And they also, you know, had stuff built on a soundstage, so it's not going to be 100% accurate. Like Richard and Emily's like little estate wasn't accurate. That's right. That is the one place that I had to get up out of my wheelchair to walk to, because there was a step up, but the room was pretty small and the step wasn't that steep, so I was able to do it. But unfortunately, if you're like completely bound to a wheelchair, you wouldn't be able to go in Richard and Emily's little estate, which is a bummer. Same thing with the gazebo, unless they have rectified it and added a ramp, which would be great if they have. So I think there's always room for improvement, and they seem to really take, you know, what I said about making the gazebo more accessible seriously, which I really appreciate, because I don't get that very often. I don't get asked how I find things accessibility wise, and so I always really appreciate that. But yeah, and then at the very end, we took our photo in front of the gazebo and then went on our way home, and it was just such a great day. I think we ended up leaving around like 7, and then they had like this really amazing, great finale that my mom filmed, where they like projected scenes onto all of the buildings, and it was just such a magical time. And Stars Hollow, I'm obsessed. I know this video was quite lengthy, but it was just so much fun and so incredible, and we all had such a great time. And again, even though there was a ton of people, it felt very organized and everyone was just really nice. I highly recommend, if you are able to go, definitely go. And yeah, just be prepared that there's going to be lines for a lot of things. There might be a crowd of people, but we're in Stars Hollow. So with that, I'm going to end this video. Thank you so much for watching it and watching any of my videos, and I will see you guys tomorrow.